Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm very nervous for you. He's a real killer, Mike.
I want to kiss Mike's big juicy lips.
And for some reason, I had an erection.
We're in an age of clicks and views. Shareholders getting their rotten fingers in the entertainment business and always trying to one-up their endeavor in an effort to keep their viewer on the edge of their seat, spending their last dollars like a drug addict chasing the dragon that was once a warm blanket of entertainment that they could cuddle and fall asleep to at night. But after a while, the blinders get pulled off and you start to see the cracks. You realize that more and more stuff in this world on the entertainment side of things is usually fake. Barely anything is real. Everything is guaranteed edited for attention. And the stories are so far-fetched that in the 90s, if you were told that this would be reality, this shit, well, you would have just cashed in on some of that good Bitcoin, bought a cabin in the most dense forest imaginable, and lived out your days knowing that everything you could see with your eyes is 100% real. But none of us could have seen inflation skyrocket and wages stay the exact same, leaving everybody broken with only one last option: to actually take shit like the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight seriously.
Peter, do we have to watch this? This is what rednecks watch, Brian.
I know what you're thinking. Well, why? Why take it seriously? And although I do agree with you, I also just realized that this fight is gonna happen whether you or I like it or not. So shall we just pretend for a split second that this is a real fight and money has no deciding factor in it? Because even if it's fake, people are gonna be pissed if Mike loses. Just like in a Marvel movie, which is the same level of fiction as the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight, Marvel never let Thanos have the last laugh. So as good storytelling goes, logic tells you that Jake cannot win here if fake. And because of that, it's just bad storytelling if they let Jake win. Now see, because if you think about it, this fight is still a gamble. The reason I say that is because no part of me wants to believe that Mike Tyson, the guy who he is, would take a scripted fall for anybody, much less a YouTuber who's given boxing a bad name. Jake Paul has a reputation for a few things, but most notably as of recently is his love for undermining the sport of boxing by demanding respect for fighting real boxers. Everyone wants him to fight an equally experienced, same weight, same age boxer. You know, a fair fight for Jake. The only thing is, Jake only wants to check off at max 2 of those boxes, thereby not so sneakily bumping his chances of success in the ring. Oh yeah, and the one time Jake did fight a real boxer the same age, weight, and skill level as him, he lost. So I'm guessing he started manipulating his odds after that bad loss by carefully selecting opponents that have disadvantages. Basically a way for him to manipulate the odds without actually manipulating the odds, purely because he's like, well, I'm, fronting most of the money, so the fight goes my way. Well, so back in March, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson announced their upcoming fight in collaboration with Netflix. And pretty predictably, the general public took a pretty large issue with the fact that there was a 30-year age gap between Mike and Jake. And as you could expect, people hated the fact that Disney's problem child was being mentioned even in the same sentence as one of the great legends of boxing. People are saying that even with the 30-year disadvantage that Mike had, if he did lose, that would just serve as proof that the entire fight was fake and scripted to begin with. That's how much people just believe in Mike.
This was just some of the initial reaction. Jake Paul's a good boxer, and Mike's obviously not in his prime anymore. Oh, you don't say. But if Mike loses, or this is a tie, then we absolutely know for sure that this is faked, or at least staged.
Is faked the best word for it? Is staged the best word for it either? I don't think so. I think the best word to describe for it is altered, because there's no way that Mike thinks this is fake. But there's no way that Jake is going to be fighting a fair fight either. Other people's comments were expressing great disdain for how their favorite sport was being treated by money-hungry influencers and dishonest corporate interests, by pointing all of the blame for all of this on the sponsors for enabling something like this to even go down.
I mean, you got this guy who's really mad. He says, I said it once and I'll say it again. Jake Paul claiming to be a boxer while preying on retired combat sports athletes who have sustained careers worth of injuries is one of the most utterly pathetic displays of cowardice I've ever seen in my entire life. Mike Tyson is 57 years old. Stop encouraging this clown. You're a joke. Netflix, you're also a joke for promoting this as well.
I mean, just like in my last video I made about Mr. Beast, when a person is offered unimaginable amounts of money just to pretend and act out a script and just pretend that it's real, they tend to do it for the bag, which allows people like Jake Paul to heavily manipulate their odds by throwing literal wads of cash at it. And for the majority of semi-interested troglodytes, kinda like me, that just want to see humans punching each other, it doesn't matter that we all knew that this one was fake. We all had the popcorn ready. I mean, shit, it was announced on Netflix. We had it for free, basically. The last time I wanted to see a fight, I had to pay like $80 after I was done with the DAZN subscription. So like, the fact that I already have a Netflix subscription means that I definitely want to see how the script for this fight plays out. And I think that's pretty much everyone's sentiment too. Like this dude who says all these boxing pundits are worried about Mike Tyson being knocked out for 20 million pounds. You can knock me out every day and twice on Sunday. Yeah, so everyone knew that this fight had very little authenticity, except for maybe to give Jake a few brownie points in the boxing world.
I'm not here to do shit besides make a bag.
This fight was and is doing, I think, exactly what Jake set out for it to do and accomplish. A whole lot of conversation, but you know, there's two sides to every coin. There's also people in the comments in support of Jake, but those people kind of leaned into the realm of Rida category. This person said, I'll be watching. This fight is not an embarrassment to boxing. This fight saved boxing. We are living in the Jake Paul era. Out of all the things I thought I'd never hear, that might be at the top of the list. Time for the passing of the torch.
Oh, that's... Come on.
So, as much as everyone was clowning this fight, Mike was posting some pretty gnarly fight footage.
It's day one. The fun just begun.
Had everybody wondering if Mike even knew the fight was fake yet. I mean, he's almost 60 and has taken a lot of punches to the head, so it wouldn't be past my realm of thinking to think that Mike might have took this fight not realizing how bad the odds were for him.
Oh, whoa, joke! That was a joke!
Because after you see all the footage that I'm about to show you of Mike, it will become clear to you that maybe Mike doesn't even realize what a predetermined outcome is. Or maybe Mike just knows what the outcome is going to be regardless of what the script says. Because wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, just look at the pure speed and aggression of this 57-year-old man who's carrying all the weight of his previous victories on his shoulders. Does this look like the type of man that would give any type of day to the concept of fighting a fake fight? To this day, Mike's hands move faster than politicians change their mind. So lightning fast. It would absolutely terrify me if I was met face to face by way of fisticuffs. Yeah, I'm not a fighter. I'd rather just rattle my jaw and walk away. But the idea and prospect of this fight didn't come from left field. Mike was actually randomly asked about the possibility of this fight way before it happened on the Nelk Boys podcast, where Mike says pretty blatantly that even though he likes Jake and his family, Jake wouldn't ever be a challenge for him. It'd be a cakewalk, if you will.
Jake Paul is obviously, you know,
he's
big.
beautiful. My family loves Jake Paul.
Could you f him up?
Oh, I'm so easy. I would never. I mean, it's my family. Everybody loves this little white motherfucker. You see a white boy with balls, you know. I'm talking about from real, but like you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I mean, the proof was in the pudding. The training footage showed promise, but KSI fans who would throw a rock at a small infant just for the slight chance it would ricochet off and hit Jake Paul in the face were quick to post that Mike Tyson was seen in a wheelchair at Miami in an airport. It raised new fears and concerns in the public, maybe thinking that Mike was close to death, being that he had sciatica, and just a few weeks earlier, he was being very morbid and kind of hinting that he was going to die soon at age 56.
Then when I look in the mirror, I see those little spots on my face, and I said, wow, man, that's my expiration date is coming close really soon.
Regardless of all that, a few weeks go by of hype and speculation for the fight, and people were spreading rumors and believing them, like how this is probably going to be an exhibition fight that won't show up on their records. An exhibition fight is a fight that doesn't show up on the official record and is purely just a demonstration of skill.
And this is going to be under an exhibition rule set. Then Roy Jones Jr. may have just told us that Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are not allowed to punch each other in the head hard. You know,
I absolutely love his jiu-jitsu shirt and how it said, come to think of it, I have no idea what that shirt's imitating. People are also speculating that headgear would be worn, as well as stipulations that Mike wouldn't be allowed to hit Jake in the head. So in order to shut everyone up, some official rules were announced to the public, giving everyone a closer look at what to be expected for the upcoming fight. And these new publicly known rules made the ability of faking this fight a lot less possible, so basically a lot less likely.
Is it pro or is it exhibition? They want pro. Obviously, that's up to the Texas Commission. We'll wait and see. Weight, I'm told heavyweight rounds, working on that as well. I saw an interview with Derek Chisora where he said there'll be headgear. I was told there's absolutely no headgear involved. This is going to look like your typical boxing match. It's just exhibition like Mike's last fight was against Roy Jones in November of 2020? Or is it just, you know, a normal pro heavyweight fight that has no strings attached in that regard? So that's one thing. I did think it was super interesting that, and this is the second point before we go to UGC, it seems like the same people who were complaining that, or criticizing, or taking shots, whatever you want to say, that Jake Paul sucks, that he's not impressive, that he fights cab drivers and he can't beat anyone, and that he's crazy for thinking that he can do this, and that he's living a fantasy bubble. It seems like the same people who won't stop talking about how bad Jake Paul is as a boxer are now all of a sudden extremely worried that he's going to kill Mike Tyson, and that he's killing, you know, a legend, and that this is unsafe, and that this is cruel, and that this is this, that, and the other.
So, and well, yeah, a gladiator is a gladiator, a person who signs up to be in a fight.
Let's go, gladiators!
So when a person whines and complains that the fight is rigged, when they find out it's real, they switch their tone and complain about the age gap, saying that it's impossible to take it seriously because of that now and not because of this. But it just ends up making them look like a hater that's just needing to hate something just because they want to hate something. Either you think the fight is real or not, but you can't walk the fence. You can't use one part of your argument each time you try to debunk somebody's entire argument. You gotta use your entire argument at once also. Do you think the fight is fake or not? It's a simple question, really. But what were the new rules that we had to all take into account? Well, for starters, the fight was now actual real professional fight with the scores going on their records. Knockouts were now fair game in an 8-minute fight, with each round being 2 minutes. Well, but when you look at how Mike loses steam fairly quickly, coupled with the fact that every time they make a social media post, all of the clips are just about 2 seconds long before they butt up with another clip, it could actually be seen as an advantage for Mike that the rounds are only 2 minutes long. But I mean, also an advantage for Jake. The gloves are to be 14 ounces. 0 headgear is to be worn. So with the new rules came a whole new fight, really. The haters had less ammo to go off of, except for the 30-year-old age gap, obviously. I should get that checked out. But people were then saying on the other side of things that the 30-year-old age difference between Mike and Jake meant that Mike just had 30 years of experience on Jake, making it really hard for Jake to be able to close the gap on that, especially with just the 2-minute rounds, giving Mike some time to recoup his energy so that he can stay on his feet longer. And with Mike posting more training footage, making everybody realize that a new, more spry Mike was coming out for this fight, people that did take the stance that Jake was just picking on the elderly were kind of eating their words and realizing that there's an actual fair fight that's going to go on here. Especially while at the time, Jake was posting things like this that really didn't up the confidence level people had in him. Not even a little bit. As well as posting his underdog bullshit, where he basically just chooses something else somebody posted and just makes a comment like a snarky reply to it. But if you want to talk about snarky in a literal sense, how about we check out this training footage of Mike that literally has him running down a lane like an angry dog. Mike looks like he's ravagely running away from something here. Possibly foaming at the mouth. It sounds like he's foaming at the mouth. Like a rabid dog. So this fight was scheduled to go down in the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on July 20th. And with Mike's reputation literally doing all the legwork to promote this fight and generating a supposedly humongous ticket sales, it seemed that people just ultimately mostly just saw this as their last opportunity to see Mike Tyson fight in real life. And I mean, to be fair, I don't think that Jake the Disney Boy Snake is necessarily someone that's bad competition for Mike. I mean, if you think about it, Mike was crowned a legend, but back in his day. And if you believe that Jake's a good learner, then he technically does have like thousands of videos he can go back and watch, study Mike just to see exactly what Mike moves are. It wouldn't and isn't impossible for Jake to win, and that's why people are taking the odds of this fight so damn seriously. No one wants to see Mike lose, but if everybody was so confident that Mike would win, then there would be no talk of his age, or anything for that matter, or anything at all. They'd be like, oh cool, you think Jake's gonna fake it? Mike is still gonna kick your ass. Like, but there is less confidence in Mike now. And also, sorry bro, but I gotta end you. It's probably one of the most disrespectful things you can say to a boxing legend.
With a dance partner like Mike Tyson, I could have never dreamt of this. I'm humbled. I owe it all to my fans, my supporters, and we just got here through hard work, taking risks, and knocking people out, and that's what I'm gonna keep on doing on July 20th. Mikey, Uncle Mike, I love you. You're looking amazing, but there can only be one winner, and I'm sorry, but I gotta end you, brother.
The entire world could see the passion Mike had and his urge to let the beast that he had tried so hard to cage back out. Dude's training footage was looking more and more tuned every single day, and he literally, he did a huge eyebrow raiser when he announced that he was just canceling his ownership in his podcast and giving up smoking weed, just all in preparation for this fight. Man actually dialed in the most intense way possible by giving up your vices.
I don't know, maybe it has something to do with my tripolar tendencies or something, but I don't think I'll be smoking for this fight, and I think I'm gonna be really, really irritable and nasty.
I don't know if irritable and nasty might actually help you in the ring. Maybe a pissed off Mike. Let me ask you this. So you're launching this new line. Is this something would you take this before the fight, for example?
Normally I do, but at this particular fight, I think I'm gonna go pretty raw and, naked.
Yeah, without all of it. All right, so the fight's coming up. You're training. Do you have any dislike for Jake Paul? Like, you want to teach him a lesson?
I will do just that, but dislike him? No, I don't. I do not have no grudges against him. He's beautiful. And no, it's not from that perspective.
Imagine if a person quit their job just to prepare to kick your ass. I'd be waving a little white flag.
Look out, he's got a white flag!
Mike is really showing exactly how passionate he is to become the exact person that he worked so hard to suppress over the years. And as Mike being the person that the media pressured so heavily over the years to suppress and hide his true identity, is now doubling back and begging him to become that person again, you can probably start to see how taxing of a role that is for him to play on this entire fight scene. But also, he's probably doing this because he needs the money. Honestly, the man is so famous for going broke right after getting rich. So, everyone was kind of eating their words here. Sure, Mike has 30 years on Jake, but some new training footage came out again that had everybody wondering if Jake even stood a chance against Mike anymore. Because at damn near 60 years old, Mike is still literally so dialed in that he's releasing footage of him moving faster than we have ever seen Jake move in any of his fight footage.
Especially when you're coming off being on your toes. There you go. Yeah, and then you got beautiful. You finished moving left. Beautiful. Beautiful. Breathe. Breathe. Great head movement. Breathe. Get on them toes. Move and chill. Relax.
That's it.
There you go. Breathe.
I could hear those punches, but I couldn't see them individually landing. That's crazy, man. I wouldn't in 1,000 years get in the ring with that monster. Things seemingly going like Mike was actually going to be the better bet in this fight. Mike posted this one last bit of training footage before the two of them went off to Texas to do a face-off.
That's crazy.
Jake tries to constantly put himself on the same level as Mike, but Mike just isn't having it and continues to treat Jake like the rich kid that paid his way to the top like he is. Because let's face it, there is probably so many 27-year-olds in this world that are really deserving for what they've achieved in their life to have a fight with Mike Tyson, and Jake Paul is not one of those 27-year-olds. Because considering if crazy money wasn't involved, Mike Tyson wouldn't even roll over at the prospect of fighting a YouTuber with 6 years experience. So they fly to Texas for the face-off, and it turns super cringe and almost creepy instantly. Jake said he wanted to kiss Mike on the mouth, which pretty much set Mike up for the ultimate roast against Jake, but instead hit him back with this.
I want to kiss Mike's big juicy lips.
You wanted to kiss me?
Indeed.
Huh? He said he wanted to kiss you. That's so ironic that he said that, because I saw a picture of him dancing at 16 doing that little dance on YouTube, and for some reason I had an erection.
the
you can just see the instant regret on Mike's face as soon as he realizes that he just said that. I mean, we went from this.
Then I'll illustrate my reign with bloodshed and pain. Then everybody will fear me. That trembling bones.
To this.
And for some reason, I had an erection.
But I mean, that's kind of comparable to this in a way.
Scared of the real man. I'll you till you love me.
But I mean, fully dialed in, do you think Mike would be able to f Jake until he loves him? Tune in July 20th at the AT&T Stadium to find out. Or not, because the fight got canceled. Yeah, and meanwhile, Jake's posting this stupid shit trying to mock Mike's career. And Netflix hyping up this fight like it was the next coming of Christ. Mike suffered a medical emergency while getting on a plane, and obviously made people instantly assume the worst for the future and instantly blame Jake Paul for abusing the elderly, basically pushing an old man past his limits. And later it was found out that this medical emergency was an ulcer flare-up that ultimately just postponed the fight. And pretty quickly, Jake was going into damage control, insisting that in the future he will f Mike up on his podcast shortly after the fight was postponed.
Oh, I'm certain I'm gonna win. I'm gonna fuck him up.
Hell yeah.
No, like for sure. It might just be easy actually.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a huge fan of Cam Patterson. That dude's funny shit.
But
I'm excited.
The most respectful way possible, because I do love him. But you know, you can love a son and you still have to discipline him.
Just imagine the headspace Jake must have been in. Just how cocky and full of misplaced confidence he must be to think that in any realm in this world that it would be okay to address Mike Tyson as his child. I think this more than anything just shed some light on how the Paul brothers just surround themselves with yes men who won't even bat an eye when they say something so freaking outlandish and stupid. And you know, with the extra time Jake had on his hands, he made sure to capitalize / keep this fight relevant until the news of when this fight was going to go on came out, or even if they were going to be able to reschedule, because he didn't know at the time. And even Logan poked the bear a little bit, going on Twitter and adding Jake, saying that maybe he could be a replacement for Mike in the fight, when we all know Logan would never actually fight Jake, only to lose and never be able to look at him in the face again.
I think you just want to beat Tommy to be able to say that you're better than me at boxing.
Well, I'll never fight you, and I don't want to fight JJ again.
And then more posts from Jake like this one, saying no more heavyweight eating for Mike Tyson for the next few weeks. Bye-bye, pizza. Before they finally gave Mike the okay and the clear to reschedule the fight to November 25th. And then right after that, Jake announced another fight with another Mike, but this one Mike Perry, which he won that fight. But you know Mike had to come back to social media and show everybody that he was still in the fight and his head was still in the game, posting that he doesn't need to be feeling 100% in order for him to kick Jake's teeth in. And then just posted this ominous silent footage of him just quietly watching Jake's win over Mike Perry, kind of letting everybody know, yeah, his head's still in the game.
Different date, same fate. I'm gonna knock out Jake Paul.
And to be honest, Mike, after all this, against him, you'd better.
Anybody's gonna take that bitch down, it's gonna be me.
Now, fast forward to last week when some brand new sparring footage of Mike just got released. And it showed that Mike Tyson was not only still in this fight, but it answered a lot of questions, because for the first time, these clips were more than 2 seconds long. They weren't just tiny little clips mashed together back to back where people had no idea what his endurance level was like. And now we knew.
Who else can do it but me? Who else is he gonna fight? We got a YouTuber fighting the greatest fighter that ever lived.
Do you think he's ever stood across from a man with the sort of intentions you can have inside a ring?
Well, he may have been in the ring with people with the same intention, but the actuality, no.
Should he be scared?
He should be very scareful, yeah. Let's go, be careful.
I think he's a mitt warrior. The Instagram videos are cute, but we'll see what happens in the ring on November 15th at the end of the day. We'll see if he still got it.
And do you think Jake called him a mitt warrior? I googled that. It means nothing. And then, you know, the last thing that happened before we're all caught up to present day, where we're all just waiting for this fight to happen. Well, you know, we had to get a big L take from Logan himself.
Mike, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love you, Mike.
Same.
And I'm very nervous for you.
Thank you for caring.
I do care. I care about you. And I care about my brother. And I know the path he's on right now. And it's ruthless, Mike. And I just feel like I want you to be okay in there, Mike. Because he's a real killer, Mike. Like, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL before he started boxing. Like, in high school, he wants to be a Navy SEAL. He wanted to go kill people on behalf of his country.
Oh my God, man. What logic is that?
What is your logic? Ow.
Just imagine. Hey, Mike Tyson, I think you should be scared. Oh, why? Because my bro, when he was in high school, he wanted to become a Navy SEAL. And because of that, Mike, he's ruthless, bro. He's got big dreams. You gotta look out. Why would Mike give two flying fucks about what Jake's aspirations in high school were? I mean, you saw what Mike was doing at Jake's age, right?
That was a right to the body and an uppercut to the head, and Burbick is down.
Not to mention Mike was boxing fully grown adults when he was 13 years old. So I'm not sure why Logan thought that saying Jake wanted to be a Navy SEAL would hold any sort of weight against Mike Tyson in this fight, but like, probably clickbait.
God bless you, content-addicted clickbaiters.
Then Logan's co-host decided it would be a good idea to try to troll Mike into letting him know about a subset of people who think birds aren't real.
Mike, it's about pigeons.
Go for it. You eat pigeons.
No, I don't. I don't eat pigeons, Mike.
Thank God.
Mike, there's a lot of people out there right now who believe that pigeons are actually CIA drones.
They're capable of it.
No, but they're not actual living animals, that they're automated machines sent out by the CIA.
Birds aren't real.
Spy drones.
Listen, I'm sure they have it. My birds are not like that, but listen.
How do you know your birds?
Listen, let me tell you something about pigeons.
Mike Tyson.
No, sorry, man. Listen. In World War II, they do it. Israel do it right now. They still use these pigeons to travel with messages, and they got cameras on them now.
Yeah.
You know how intelligent they can make a pigeon turn the light off, teach them how to turn the light off, teach them how to type. What are those things again? Typewriters. Teach them how to type. These guys are fucking. These pigeons are geniuses, man. Look how fast. You just look at a pigeon. Look how far he can fly. Imagine a pigeon flying 2,000 miles, flying from like America to Europe or some shit like that.
That's endurance.
You know what I mean?
That's endurance.
So you don't think they're drones for the CIA?
You can use them as drones.
Got it.
But there's a big movement, Mike, of people who say that birds aren't real.
Come on now, you know birds are real.
You know what they say? They say this. We're in New York. I'm sure someone here is from New York or the surrounding areas.
Yeah.
Our producer, Dylan.
Yep.
Y'all ever see a baby pigeon?
Yeah, because we're not in their nest. That's why we don't see a baby pigeon.
Is that why?
Yeah, I got like 200 of them.
I can attest to pigeons being very real when I've pulled them out of the grill of my car, but whatever. I guess I must be part of the Matrix too. Look, I'm gonna say what we're all thinking. I really, really hope that Mike gets the chance to punch the magic out of Disney, because Jake has been using his clout and money far too long to get what he wants without earning his stripes. Until now, no amount of money has ever been able to buy somebody with almost no experience into a ring with one of the boxing legends of all time. And with the rules to the fight being very fair and hard to fake, and with the 200-pound limit they have set being a very good weight for both of them, let's hope that Mike still has that dog in him, beats the shit out of Jake, and makes him realize that he should be keeping to fighters with his own experience level. That being said, none of us are going to know exactly how this fight plays out until we're either cheering or booing at the TV screen, living out just another part of 2024 that we never thought in the 90s that we'd be experiencing in our wildest dreams. And that's not in a good way. That's in a I guess so kind of way. I don't think anybody wanted this. That's it. We're all caught up. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you think this fight is rigged or heavily altered to be very favored in Jake's favor, or maybe even Mike's favor, if that's what you think. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. One thing I do know is that come November 15th, when the fight actually does happen, despite the outcome of the fight, Jake is just going to suffer criticism no matter what he does in this instance, because if Jake wins, people are going to say that it doesn't really count on Mike's actual record because Mike is way past his prime. But on the other hand, if Jake loses,
the universe is in balance.
Either way, Mike's years as a young legend earned himself a throne that he can't be dethroned from, and so, like everyone else, I'll be watching the fight because who wouldn't want to see Iron Mike fight, right? But that's it for today. If you enjoyed the video, then please consider subscribing because it greatly helps the channel grow. And if I haven't earned that subscription, then a like on my video would tell me that I'm well on my way to earning your subscription. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Look! This is wrestling! This!
Oh, he's doing the old Anderson.
Mister, you better take your game and walk right out of this bar.